It is a frosty October morning here. Um, I'm hoping the lens doesn't cloud up, so to speak. Still working with my lenses. That there is Hartford Healthcare, um, a conglomerate of medical offices here along Silas Dean Highway in Withersfield. And I've been thinking of King Lear. There's been a King Lear motif of sorts that over the last 4 years I have taken notice of. Okay? Immediately, once I was evicted uh, in my apartment in Phoenix, I thought of Lear. You know, because I was evicted by this like sorority of young girls and women and such, and basically tossed out onto the street. Um, Despite being in public housing and meeting the disability requirements and such. But I immediately thought of Lear. You know, this older guy, this king who had his own throne in Phoenix for a very long time. I was in Phoenix for a good 10 years or so, and just seemed like this coven of witches, to mix plays, um, came in and just tossed me into the street. So I was immediately angry and outraged that I had been fooled, and I lost my kingdom to a bunch of silly girls in Phoenix who I had never seen before and who had just rolled into town, I guess. Um, so that began the motif. Um, the motif continued, though, as I didn't need a fool. Lear kind of picks up a fool, or I think one of the girls kind of sends the fool after him, and the fool, of course, is more than happy to follow Lear and to dog Lear and to make him a fool. I didn't really care for that. It's like, and I'm not one of these street guys that's going to pick up a buddy and, we're going to travel the country kind of crap. No, I was never into that too much. I kind of like to fly solo. Um, because buddies you can't really rely on. And at my age, um, I don't know if you've noticed here, but the neighborhood boys have started the winter renovation here of the bus shelter. Um, just as a sidebar, or a post. Um, so I was not big on buddies or anything like that. So what I decided was that William would be my traveling companion, and has been so since. Um, he's great because, unlike a dog or a therapy dog, if you will, you don't have to feed him or bathe him, you know, and he takes your crap, clothes you wear, clothes you need. And he never talks back. So, you know, and like a good young man, he's always packed. So I decided William would be best for the full. As I was angry enough once at being on the street. So I went from town to town to town, and like Lear, who had been wronged, I had many times on my heath where I would rant and rage and howl at the moon. We will use this as the heath. This will be my heath. All right, from which I will rant and rave here on Silas Dean this October morning on the road. So the Lear motif continued in Austin, Texas, was the next time that I had a thing about this Lear motif. It kind of came up again. There was a great Einstein bagel shop on the campus of the University of Texas in Austin. And it was fantastic. I would go there. They would have spinach bagels. All right. And I would have that with cream cheese and a large cup of coffee every morning. Well, one day I find some guy sleeping in the doorway as I go to get my morning bagels. All right. So I tap him because I want to get into, the restaurant. And he rolls over, and one of his eyes is like full of pus. All right. It was disturbing. I mean, it's like he rolls over and like one of his eyes is like full of pus. And I'm like, oh, man, My second thought in my mind, I hate to be cynical, but mind you, I've been out here a long time in this lovely world we're living in. Pre-pandemic, it's... Anyways, is that I gotta leave my heath. That beeping on the walk there is just getting to be a bit much on my head. So my second thought, once I see this guy, is, oh, what do you know? This homeless guy at the Einstein bagel doorway. Oh, I found Gloucester. I got a buddy now. My old friend from the street now. I have found my Gloucester. So I kind of chuckled to myself. The motif continues. And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed until I woke up one morning with a detached retina in my left eye. And I spent the next month convalescing as I tried to get vision back in my left eye after a surgery in Austin, Texas. Humbly, though, before I left the city, I did take a tube of ointment that I was not using that I no longer needed. And I found my brother at the Einstein Bagels, and I gave it to him to use. Um, so here I am now, currently convalescing with, after the detachment now of my other eye. And not only the detachment of my other eye, but glaucoma, or not glaucoma, but cataracts, which I was told years ago would occur because once you have a detached retina, a side effect of that is in time you're going to develop a cataract in the lens. And that's exactly what happened to both eyes. So now I have seen the Lear motif through, I think, with Gloucester, the evictions by a sorority of younger women, and the abuse by sons that I thought I could trust and have faith in and value in. But turn out to be a bit in the straightaway righteous mode, you know. But I will say this, when all is said and done, not all my sons that I've known on the road have been as righteous or as straight. Some have been real bastards. And those sons are the ones that I truly love. Because they have shown me brotherhood, and they have shown me respect, and they have shown me love and care. Who knew? As I muse here on this cold October morning in my heath